Welcome everyone to another session of Crituitous RP. Previously, we have been adventuring as a group. The party members were on a hunt for barbarian burial mound relics, which led them towards the city of, well, not the city, the ancient forges of Ironslag. Their purpose in heading into Ironslag was to confront Duke Zalto, find out why or what he's doing in Ironslag, and potentially stop him from whatever he had planned. As well as that, the party wanted to be able to acquire an item known as the Conch of Teleportation. So they headed straight in to the forges and got a little overwhelmed by the welcoming party that came in to greet them. Quickly dashed out to the plane of Arborea before plane shifting back into the mines and the forges of Ironslag. As the party arrive in the area, we fade to black. And as we are down a couple players tonight, we will be running through a flashback within the campaign story. So each of our players today will be playing a different character. They will be playing a mysterious individual that has some...
We lost you.
All right, I'm back.
Oh, yeah.
So each of the players will be playing as someone that has some impact on the campaign story as a whole. First off, we have, instead of Loic, we have Maeva Heartfire. Yes, Maeva Heartfire is a rogue, a thief rogue. Next to her, instead of Artir, we have Bram Chirotsk. He is a druid. Next to Bram, we have a new member of the group who will be playing a, let me just double check, ranger. He will be playing a ranger named Mong Dai. These individuals are members of an organization, and they've been a part of this group, which you will learn more about throughout the coming session. They've been part of this group as long as they can remember. They don't remember having parents beforehand. They don't know whether or not they were born into the organization or just given away, because right from their earliest memory, they remember being schooled in the doctrines of this particular group. Together, they built a friendship and a camaraderie that was second to none within the academies and the teachings centers within this organization. And it led the people in charge to create this band of individuals who would go out and do various tasks for them. This particular time, the group of you had been gathered together in search of something. You had two goals given to you by your superior. The goals were, you need to find a crown and retrieve said crown, but also find information that leads towards more of its kind. It is believed that there are 5 of these crowns in particular, and they are of particular value through historical and religious means for your particular group. And so you got ready. You got packed up. You started seeing what you could to find information about these things that you were looking for. And a member of your organization came to you with information that was needed. He told you that they had actually located this one particular crown, and they believe in the same location as this crown is information that would lead us to the location of the others. This particular crown can be found in a cloud giant stronghold which flies above the eastern mountains. You have been told that it tends to stick around a little village by the name of Parnast. Now, in terms of the location of Parnast, just pull up my map. So Parnast can be found way to the southeast of the High Forest, to just on the outskirts of the Grey Peak Mountains before you hit the desert lands of Anarok. Okay, just between the Grey Peak Mountains and the desert lands of Anarok. How you could get inside this this stronghold, you don't know, but your superior believes the answer can be found within Parnast, because no matter how hard they try, something has been stopping them from being able to gain access to the stronghold through normal means, whether it be by air, by land when it's close enough, whatever. Your group have not been able to get into this stronghold before. So you've been tasked with going to the little village of Parnast to find out how you can get there. As we start the session, you are arriving upon and coming close to the city of Parnast. It's a quiet little town. There aren't many houses there, probably a dozen or so buildings. You've been through this area before, passing, or you've heard stories from other people that indicate that this little place only really has a tavern, a general store, and a couple houses. That's it. It's a quaint little town, and there isn't much to it. But as you approach it, how would you all like to proceed?
Do we get to know the name of our organization?
Not yet.
So
You will find it out throughout the course of these
we can
one-shots.
probably assume that it's a big no-no to tell anybody around who we are or who we're working for. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
In fact, your various tasks in the past have usually involved some form of thievery or recovery, murder, which has been termed as cleansing, that kind of tasks that you've been given before. So to warn people of your organization is usually shunned.
Okay.
And
So in a small place like this, we probably don't have any kind of staple contacts.
you don't. However, you have been told that once you are finished and have the item, you are to meet your superior in a small town just to the west of Parnast by the name of Lork. It is approximately 100 miles along the Dawn Pass, which would take you just a couple days travel.
So we don't know how we're getting into the place where we're supposed to go. You were just sent to get it done.
You were sent to Parnast because you believe, and all accounts seem to direct you, that Parnast has the key to getting inside.
Okay.
And they've asked you to find out what that key is and use it to get into this giant stronghold.
Well, hey, man, I could just bring some owls, man. Some big owls. They'll just carry us up there. I mean, if it's a flying castle, I can just fly us up there. That's no big deal. Can we see the castle from where we are?
So from the ground, go ahead and make perception checks. With your new character sheets, which you should all have. 1 second. I just realized some of them are still set to be invisible. change that.
I took care of Brams.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay, so Mong rolled a 22 on his perception. So, Mong, you are able to tell that looking high up into the sky, and it's about mid-afternoon at this time when you arrive. That's right. Yeah, the clouds are starting to drift across the sky, and you've kind of picked out that there's one particular point where the clouds aren't moving. And the clouds that are around them kind of shift up to them and then move around and then keep going past. So this patch of cloud is probably unnatural, to say the least.
Let's see. Well, I think I'm going to let everyone know there's a patch of clouds up there that's not acting very naturally, and I think that might be our place. If you notice, they're kind of staying still, and we should see if we could find a way to get there. That's got to be our destination.
Yeah, man. I could totally fly us up there. There's no problem.
No, but we already know that the flying doesn't work. They've tried that before. There's got to be something else. There's some kind of a block.
Is that what they said? I don't really remember what they said about that. How do we know? I mean, it's just a castle in the sky. We fly up there and we land. What's the big deal?
No.
Well, I do know that something that's as precious as what we're after is going to require an ample amount of guards. So we'll probably find some sentries if we just shoot right up there. I don't know. Maybe someone has established a route that the sentry force doesn't know about. It's a little safer. Maybe we should ask around first.
I think that's a good insight into what we should do.
Hey, thanks.
No problem.
Okay. So being outside of the city, how do you want to proceed in entering?
Was there like a gate, or is there any guard to get into the city, or is it just kind of open?
It's open. It's a very small little village. You've been approaching it through a path through the woods that kind of break open about 500 feet before the city itself, before the little village. So you kind of stayed back away from the city, out of view.
Mm-hmm.
But walking straight in, you're probably... you may not draw attention to yourselves because it's such a small place, but there isn't much like cover as you walk through.
Right.
I say we find the nearest tavern.
Pop on in there.
I could use a drink.
See if I can find some of my peoples.
Get some good insight, get some intel. Find out what's going on.
Maybe I think you have a problem.
What? With what? What'd I do?
I don't know. You seem like you just don't know when to stop drinking.
What?
So I don't know.
Where did this come from? This isn't about that one night, was it? Look, I had an explanation for that, and no one knows where the elephant came from. That was not my doing.
That's what I'm saying. No one knows. You gotta just.
Well, just because no one knows doesn't mean it's my fault.
Well.
You know what?
More often than not.
Water under the bridge. Water under the bridge. Let's.
Regardless of elephants or not, I think getting intel is probably something we should do so we can put the past behind us. And let's just move forward.
All right. So you make your way forward. You make your way forward through the into the city, and there are a couple people milling about, moving from place to place. Simple folk, no one wearing anything ostentatious. It's very bland-looking robes and colors. Simple farm people. But you come up to a large building, one of the largest buildings in this little space, that has a huge yellow tankard imprinted on a sign hanging over its door. Immediately indicates that this is probably the tavern of the town, the inn or place. The place looks quite clean, in fact, from the outside. Very nice, very taken care of, a very up-to-do kind of location. The doors are huge, sturdy, iron-bound doors, but with simple tinted glass windows that circle the entirety of the building, seeming to suggest that once you're in, might not be able to. Well, you can't see inside, but you would be able to see out through these windows.
Can we hear any kind of, like, what kind of commotion there might be going on inside to know how crowded it is? I mean, you said it's midday, so I don't know.
Mm-hmm. It's mid-afternoon. You don't really hear too much noise coming from inside of it. There's a little bit of chatter that spills out, and a few moments go by as you're kind of gathering towards the tavern. The door will open. A simple folk, a villager will step out, and the noise gets a little bit louder, but doesn't seem to suggest it's busy. There's no real music playing or anything like that. Yeah.
I think I will enter and find a booth towards the back where I can kind of lay incognito and scout but keep a survey of the area to see if I can find some people that look like they might be able to help us.
Okay, by yourself or the three of you?
I'm going to wander off to a different part of the room and do the same.
Okay. And how about Brom?
I'll hang with Mung. Mung?
Okay.
All right.
Is that Mung?
Mung Dai.
Mung Dai.
Yeah.
I'll hang with Mung.
Okay. So Brom and Mong, you step in first through the door. It sways a little bit behind you, and as you step in, the noise level, though it was low, kind of dips down a little bit, seeming that as a couple people do turn to look at who came in, and then they pretty much ignore you as you continue past. You find yourself a spot to sit down in, at which point Maeva also walks in and moves around, finds another spot.
I wish to move in with a swagger in my hips, looking young and virile, and do a little hair flip and sit down, cross my legs.
Intending to draw attention?
The interesting kind of attention, yes.
Okay, go ahead and, just for the sake of it, roll me a performance check. Now, before you do that, before you make your a roll for the session, something I forgot to mention is happy birthday to Casey.
Thank you.
1 year older today. As a special present from me as a DM, you have 3 uses of inspiration for the session.
What, for the session?
For the session. Well, for the time that you play as Maeva. Okay, so it might spill over to next week. So you have 3 uses of inspiration. Whenever you use them, that's up to you.
On top of the luck feat.
On top of the luck feat.
This is gonna be savage.
Okay. All right.
Okay, performance check.
So, a performance check as you step in, swaggering. All right. So you come in, you feel pretty good. You look pretty good. You're used to doing this. A couple people turn to you. As one individual that's kind of closest to you turns, he shifts in such a way that his chair lands right on top of your foot. You feel a sharp sting of pain that kind of throws you off balance a little bit. You recover, try to keep you calm down, make sure you're not too embarrassed before you move on to your spot.
Well, that was unpleasant.
Okay. So once you've sat down and you've been down for a while, the 3 of you, a barmaid makes her way over towards Brom and Mon and your table. She comes to you and it's like, "What can I get you, travelers?"
Just water for me. I gotta stay sharp.
What's good here?
I can do you a mug of beer or a mug of mead. Choice is yours.
How about one of both?
All right. It'll be 2 silver pieces.
You got it. And I slip her the silver pieces.
Yeah.
Okay. So she takes the coin, disappears off, comes back, mug of beer and a mug of mead.
What's What's the nearest big? I'm asking the DM. What's the nearest big settlement to like they would know this town?
So, in terms of getting here, the nearest like big settlement would probably be Loudwater. That's kind of a main city on the way over. It's not too big, but it's the biggest city as you make your way east. You would have probably come through Waterdeep along the road from there, but Loudwater is probably the biggest city in the area. She gives you. Yeah, go ahead.
I stop. So she gives me the drinks, and I take them, and I'm holding them both, and I say, "What's your name, dear?" And I start drinking one.
Well, my name's Anna. And what's yours, my friend?
You can just call me the Druid. We're out of Loudwater.
Monk starts to shake his head a little bit, like, "Oh my God, this guy! What is he doing?"
We're out of Loudwater, and we're our employer has asked us to get some supplies. Basic, food, drink, that sort of thing. He's opening up a new place in Loudwater, and I drink the other drink.
Well, if it be supplies you're looking for, you'll want the tattered bag. It's the local merchant in town. He takes care of most of the city's supplies, though this far east, you're not really going to find much.
Well, that's the thing. We thought maybe when things are, you guys don't have a lot, maybe you'd be willing to sell stuff for cheaper. I think that's what our employer says. I don't know much about that stuff. I just go where he sends me,
Well, you're welcome to stick around here for as long as you want. Enjoy the drinks.
Thanks.
Is there anything else?
Anna.
Okay. Right. And she saunters off and heads towards Maver's table, where Maver is sat down. She doesn't actually approach you and talk to you, but if you grab her attention, she will stop.
Hey, hun, can I get some ice for my foot?
What?
This Yahoo
Sure.
landed a chair on my foot, and now it's swelling up in my boot, and I still have walking to do today.
Oh, dear. I'm so sorry. Give me just a moment. I'll come back with some ice.
Thank you.
Are you here alone?
Yes.
Oh, what's a pretty little lady like you walking around by yourself for?
Well, there is something I heard about in the Grey Spire Mountains. That's what they're called, right?
Yep.
That's
Grey Peak Mountains.
Grey Peak Mountains, thank you. Mm-hmm. That sounds right up my alley, so I just thought I'd check it out. And I don't appreciate competition, so you won't be getting anything out of me.
Okay. She walks off, mutters something to herself under her breath. You hear it, Maven, just because your passive perception is high enough. She's like, we just got a strange bunch in tonight. Always weirdos. And she disappears off. Comes back, she does give you some ice for your foot, but she kind of plunks it on the table and walks away from you to
Take
do
off my
anything
boot
else.
and put it on the table and put the ice on it. Sit back.
So you're in the inn. You can see the hustle and bustle. A couple people are eating food. They're all more or less eating the same thing. It's just simple sausage with potatoes. But what would you like to do while you're in the tavern?
I think now that we are boozed up to some extent, we're getting comfortable, I'm going to take a look around and see if anybody anybody's keeping a suspicious eye on us. There's already been 2 things gone wrong here today. The foot got hurt. I got the wrong drink. I think I'm a little suspicious, and I'm making sure there aren't other people eyeing us, trying to that might be on our tail, if you will.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay.
14. And what's your passive perception, Mon?
My passive is 16.
16. Okay, cool. So you take a look around, kind of get a gauge on people, and you notice that there is one individual in particular that's a couple booths down from where Mava is sat. So effectively is between you in opposite corners. As you and Mava are opposite one another, he's in the middle. Hooded figure, sipping a big glass of beer, but he's sat in such a way that you notice his head tilt as he keeps looking in your direction, then back to his drink.
Okay. Hey, the druid. Check out that guy over there. I think he's
Hey, man, you're just too uptight, man. There's nothing going on. Just have a drink, enjoy yourselves. We'll figure this thing out.
No, I think he's a danger. I think he's onto us.
So
I think we need to do something about it.
Very obviously. Who are you talking about? And I start pointing. That guy? That guy right there?
Smack your hand down like, look.
What's wrong, man?
A moment goes by and you notice that the individual slides his drink across the table, starts sliding out of the booth, and starts making his way away from the table.
You think we should follow? Hey, you! Where are you going?
Oh, no. Is he gonna come?
You can tell. You're pretty sure he's trying to make a point not to look at you, because at this point, when Brom is shouting, everyone in the tavern just turned to look at you, and then look where you were looking. But he's moving along, completely ignoring you. It's got maybe 2 seconds before he walks out the door.
I am going to call him over to our booth.
As you wave him down, he picks up his pace a little bit, runs out the door.
Okay, when he does that, can I covertly, since I didn't order a drink, just leave and attempt to follow him stealthily? I'm gonna keep my distance. Keep a good
roll a stealth check.
30 feet.
As you try to blend in Assassin's Creed style to all of the people in the town as you move around.
It was totally planned. We were setting up the diversion, obviously.
Of course.
Okay.
Now, Brom, next time we're doing something stealthy and we're trying to stay incognito, you don't shout at the person that is watching us.
Listen, man,
it happens way too much.
Just call me the druid.
All right.
So,
druid.
Mava, you follow him for a little bit. You keep your distance. From time to time, he'll stop, turn, look back, see if he's being followed. But in those moments, you can kind of gauge, okay, he's slowing down, he's going to turn. So you hide behind a corner. Or you duck behind a person, just very briefly, so that it blends in. And you are fairly certain that you've blended in. You follow him across town as he makes his way into a cottage that, from the outside, looks to be covered in religious symbols and sigils, various different things, and it seems to be a kind of a hodgepodge of religious iconography that's all around the outside. And he steps in through the main door.
Are there any windows that I can peek into to see if he's like meeting anyone or talking to anyone?
Not in here, though. No.
Nothing up there either? Nothing towards the roof?
You look at the roof, you can see that there is a chimney of sorts, so you could make your way up to try and...
I would like to climb the building and listen into the chimney.
Okay. As you climb up on the side of this wood and wicker roof, you're going to have to roll me another stealth check.
Hey, man, should we follow Mava? She's not at her table anymore. I don't know if I offended her, but she didn't even get a drink or anything.
My guess is she followed very shortly after that man who was watching us that you so astutely tipped us off to. And I appreciate that very much. I think she can handle herself. We don't want to draw more attention to her if she's trying to do her thing. So let's let her handle this as a professional. And we can sit here and not get into more trouble.
Okay, man.
All right.
So, question, DM.
Yep.
I have luck,
Mm-hmm.
and I can spend that to roll again. But since we have Roll20 set up to also have the disadvantage advantage rolls in addition, does that mean I would have to take the 11? Because that would be the next roll.
No.
So I can completely all over again, do over.
So if you don't have advantage or disadvantage, I will ignore always the second thing. You have to physically do the action of pushing the button
Okay.
to do the
Cool.
other.
'Cause that would
Okay.
defeat the fun of it, I feel.
All right.
I think I'm going to use a luck point on this since I have inspiration and everything today.
Yep.
So I will re-roll that. Much better.
Ooh.
Much better.
So a 29 is much better than a 13. So much so that you beat his 23. So
I needed it. Yes!
Nice.
you did need it. You make your way up and up this wicker roof. You kind of straddle the chimney. Look over. It's about chest high while you're sat down next to it. You look in and you can see that this individual now, hood down, is a human. Male, probably about 30-something years old, blonde hair, long down to his shoulders. And as opposed to the way he was sat in the inn trying to keep himself hidden, now he's standing in almost a stance of nobility or authority, the way he's holding himself. And in front of him, there is I want to say a small giant. It is definitely a giant, definitely a cloud giant, but it's a small one. It's probably no taller than about 8 foot tall, probably young, and they're talking to one another in giant, which you don't speak, unfortunately. A couple moments go by where they continue to talk. What are you doing?
Is the blonde guy wearing any iconography that I can see? Anything I can match him to this place?
Make a perception check. Because that's going to be difficult with elevation and the way he's wearing his robes. And you nat 20 the perception check. Now, okay. Now, while nat 20 isn't necessarily a crit, that's still impressive. So, you do notice that he has a sigil tattooed into his wrist. That while he's talking, you see him waving a bit, and you see this sigil that's cut in. It does look like an ancient rune that you've seen before and does exactly depict Cloud Giant. So he's he must be associated with these Cloud Giants by the rune that he has on his person.
Okay, and can I hear anything that they're saying?
You can hear everything that they're saying,
Okay.
but it's in Giant.
Oh, right. Okay, right.
Yeah.
All right.
While she's doing that, and they're going to be talking for a while, what are the rest of you doing?
Let's see. How long has she been gone?
Well, that's up to you as to when you would trigger. She's going to be gone for about 30 minutes or so. So how far into her being gone would you have started questioning, getting up, doing whatever you need to?
I think I'm going to call Annabek over. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
So you wave her down. She hurries over, this time remembering a glass of water for you. Or not a glass, a mug of water for you.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, love.
Oh, it's okay. You're just, it's a busy night here. Now, we noticed that man just ran out of here. Who was he?
Probably some traveler like yourselves.
Okay.
Do you get a lot of before?
Do you get a lot of travelers in here?
From time to time, we do. People moving through the city, in and out of the city. It's fairly transient.
Okay.
Can I insight to see if she was being truthful about
Oh, yeah.
this?
Of course you can.
I'm going to do that too.
All right. So, Bram, you believe her. In fact, you believe her so much that she's starting to grow on you, and she looks quite cute. However, Mong, there is definitely something she is hiding.
Okay.
She's been a little shifty in her answers.
In
Looking around.
In my insight, or maybe I'll roll a different one to figure this out, was I be able to determine if she, how she responded to me talking to her compared to the druid talking to her? If she seemed more receptive to him or to me?
Your insight was good enough that you could tell that she is just on edge around you. Just
me specifically, or the both?
No,
okay,
just the both of you.
Okay.
Dealing with you is obviously like putting her on edge a little bit.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to thank her. Say thank you, Anna. Sorry for bothering you.
Okay.
And I'm going to pass her. How much gold do we have? Sorry, because it's not on the sheet.
So you guys each started with, sorry, I didn't mention this previously. You each started with 50 gold.
Okay. So I'm going to pass her a gold piece and thank her for correcting the order, and then tell her that we're sorry for bothering, but that how do I word this? If she does know anything about that guy, if she found anything out, if she's maybe talks to some of the girls in the back, we would love to get some information just to know what's going on, because he was looking at us strangely and we don't want any trouble in town while we're here.
Okay. Roll a persuasion check.
Yeah, that's probably not going to go very well. Is there any bonus because there was a gold piece attached to that persuasion check, for a chance? Oh, we can... Damn. If only I had a...
Okay. She leans into you, and she does just briefly mention, I don't know if I'll be able to be of any help, but I often find when I need answers to prayers, I go pray at the shrine. And then she turns around and walks away.
I leave another gold piece at the table before we head out in general, for her assistance in her cryptic response. So,
hey man, I think she's into you. You want me to be your wingman, man?
Maybe if we're in town a little longer, but I think we have more we need to do tonight.
Yeah, so I was thinking that this castle in the sky, they need like supplies. So maybe the reason they stick around this town is because this is where they get their supplies from. Mm-hmm. So maybe we should check out that guy who has the supplies, man.
I think that is a good idea. I do want to scope some things out, but if you have a lead that you think we can follow, I'll trust your insight, Druid.
Thanks, man. All right, should we go to that shrine? Because I don't know, it kind of sounds like she wants to hook up with you at that shrine. Or do you want to go to the supply guy? Or do you want to wait here for Ava?
We shouldn't wait for Ava because she might be a while. Let's go to the supply guy, and I'll meet up with Anna at the shrine later, and maybe you can come by too. She seemed to be into you as well.
All right.
So I think that's a good time to head out to the general store.
Okay. As you step out of the tavern, the streets are kind of getting thinner and people are kind of going their way as the sun is setting. You notice out of the corner of your eye, because you're used to watching her and following her activities, you see Maeva lay down along the roof of a church chapel type building, just peering inside the thing. No one else has noticed her in town. She's absolutely, like, if it wasn't for the fact that you guys are used to her, you wouldn't have picked her out, but you know her style, and you see her up there. But you walk past, you head towards where the general inn is, not the inn, the general store, and inside there is a burly looking dwarf just hammering away at a bunch of tools and items off in the back. The store is empty. There's no other individuals in there. But you look around and you can see that he has simple gear. So ropes, couple tinkering tools like hammers, chisels, that kind of thing. Very simple weaponry, swords, shields, and then some basic foods.
Did he notice us come in, or was he too engrossed in his work?
He seems busy in his work, focusing on whatever he's working on and building on his little anvil.
Okay.
The no door time.
What was that?
I said no door chime.
No door chime.
What kind of establishment is this with no door chime? If he has the time to make all these weapons, he could certainly make a bell for his door.
You saying this out loud to one another?
No, sorry. Yeah, that would be very rude. Although actually, maybe Long Dai would say that out loud. I think he does say that out loud. Yeah.
Okay.
So we come in and I'm like, there's not even a bell chime here. He's back there working. He doesn't notice. How does he have time to make all these weapons, to procure all this food, but he can't even put an alarm on the door to let him know when people are coming in?
You hear his voice from the back of the room. My eyes and ears are good enough to be able to do more than one thing at once, little man. What do you want? And he doesn't even look up to deal with you. He's still working on his task.
That was pretty aggressive, man. You're the dwarf. If any one of us are little, it would be you, man.
What do you want? And what are you doing in my store?
Well, we come from Loudwater, and our employer says that he wants us to get some supplies. Anna, Anna, she says that this is the place to come to get supplies. Now, I saw the castle. We saw this weird cloud hanging up over here, over the town, and we hear rumors that there's a castle up there, which is crazy, man. But since you make all the supplies and stuff, do you send supplies up there to that castle?
How much did you have to drink at that tavern? What are you talking about? A castle in the sky.
Can I insight that?
Go ahead.
You know what I'm talking about, man. It's a castle up there. Don't play coy with me.
You don't. Like, he seems a little shocked and confused by you. That's as much as you can see. Look, have you come to do business or not?
We would like to buy some wares. We've been traveling for some time. Our blades are getting dull. Our food is running low. We are particularly fond of collecting rare artifacts, rare gear. And so we thought that in a town like this, small towns tend to have their own relics. And we thought this might be a place to peruse, to find what they have. Although all I see on this walls are short swords and simple bows, and craftsmen of your caliber obviously should, as my expectations, would have more than just that if your reputation precedes you. And I'll roll,
roll a persuasion check.
So, I'm lying out of my... Oh, God, no. Jeez.
You know we're on the edge of a desert, right? And that there's not much further east of here. This is the last stop before you have nothing. You want some food, you want some basic supplies, this is where you go. Not some reliquary, not some museum of fancy to-dos. Look, you want a sword, I'll sell you the best sword you'll find in the area.
How much to sharpen a blade?
Sharpen? That depends on how badly you've taken care of your weapons. Though, probably good 10 gold. We'll shine it up. Yeah.
Absurd. Druid, what did you want here? This guy's
I don't know, man. I don't like this guy. I don't think we want to give him our business.
Indeed.
He's just not cool, man. Let's get out of here.
Your loss. All right. So you both just walk out. You ignore him. He goes straight back to his work. Roll perception checks for me. I'll probably take your passives. Rolling pretty badly.
Please take my passive. Yeah, I'm not doing that well. My passive is 16. So
yeah. And okay, Bram, you did pretty well. You do notice that he is watching you intently as you leave. And there is something to the way that he's watching you that's not a disgruntled shopkeeper that's watching you leave. It's someone that's trying to remember you and keep an eye on you as you go. You step away from the store a good distance, and you just see his head poke out the door a second, and then it goes back in.
I don't like that guy, man.
No, not at all. He is a suspicious sort, but I think he knows more than he's letting on to.
By now, Maeva, the conversation has been going on between this small giant and this human. And it seems fairly civil, fairly straightforward. The giant gives the little man a bag of coin, or what you assume to be a little leather pouch of coin, and steps back away from him. And as he moves away from the kind of the entryway of this temple, this shrine, you shift around so that you can see where he's headed to. And he walks to the back of the room, to the middle of a kind of a semicircle that's made out of 4 different statues. And as he steps into the middle of them, the ground flares with a brilliant blue light outlined in a circle. Runes shine, and then the giant disappears as he steps in. The human turns around, lifts his hood, and immediately his posture shrinks down a little bit, back into a smaller kind of human position, and he starts walking to the door and out.
Alright, once he's gone and out of eyeshot, I'm going to get down off the roof with finesse, and then go find my cohorts.
Okay. You slide down the back of the roof, land on the floor easily, and you can see your compatriots just stepping out of the general store.
I gathered information. What'd you do?
Are you just shouting that across the town at us, or did you
No,
come
no,
over
no,
to
no.
us?
It's a
Okay.
at the volume that I did it. It's not that loud.
We met this hostile dwarf, man. I don't know. He's a shopkeep, but he doesn't have a door chime. I mean, what even? Am I right?
I wouldn't be
Is-
able to explain it. Door chimes are a necessity for shops. That's known.
True. He seemed to have some information that we weren't able to get, although I did get a lead that there's a shrine that we need to check out. And it looked like you were on the roof of that shrine.
Shh, come here, come here, come here, come here. And I'll drag them both into a bush, and make sure no one's around. I was like, okay, all right. So I followed dude guy back to what looked like a temple, and he had a cloud giant tattoo, and he was talking to this little cloud giant, right? And there was an exchange of money, and then the little cloud giant stepped into the semicircle of magic, and poof, gone.
Just poof.
Well, not poof. There was no smoke, but there were lights.
Okay.
Blue
What did they
lights.
say? Did they say anything?
They were talking in giant. I couldn't
Hey,
make it out.
I got something too. You know that Anna chick at the bar? Totally in the bong. Totally. And they're gonna
Bong,
they're gonna
not
meet
bong, druid.
That's what I said, man. Lighten up.
Oh, okay.
Who wouldn't be into Mong? He's a strapping young lad.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So it sounds like we have two equally important and vital pieces of information. Anna's in Tamong, and this giant transportation area. Should we follow up on one of these things?
How did you guys figure out you needed to visit a temple?
I bribed a waitress, Anna.
And what'd she say exactly?
I don't remember the exact words. It was some hokey, simple, cryptic nonsense that she thought was more clever than it was.
Crypticism is not nonsense, my friend.
Okay. Well, she said that she likes to pray at a shrine.
Oh.
And
Dude, she was flirting with you is all. That's
Maybe the cloud giants are doing favors for these people for some reason. Maybe we should pray and find out.
maybe we should. Did you find out a way to get into? Well, actually, was the building empty when when the person disappeared, or were there others in there?
The shrine? As soon
Oh,
as
sorry.
he's-
I was asking Mava.
Oh,
If-
sorry. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
no. So Mava, was the shrine empty when you left?
I think it was.
Okay.
I didn't see anybody.
Okay.
So we
Should
could,
we-
like, do you guys, Druid, do you know what I'm talking about? Like, have you ever seen anything like that before? With the blue flashy lights?
I don't think so, man. That's something that I've done before.
Roll an Arcana check anyway, just to see if you've been exposed to such magic.
Ooh.
From the sounds of it, he probably used some form of a teleportation spell. I mean, he was there 1 second, gone the next.
Well, if he's not there anymore, man, he's either invisible or he teleported somewhere. It's not
Possibly
it's not
possibly
brain surgery.
to a floating castle in the sky above the town.
That's good thinking. That's probably exactly where he went.
Oh. I say we find a way to get inside that shrine and investigate.
Well, we have two options, I think. We can either go in there and wait till everyone's gone and, like, poke at it and see if we can figure it out ourselves, or we could attempt to play a ruse in which one of us prays, so to speak.
Let's see.
and see what happens.
I'm totally pious, man. I don't even have to pretend to pray. I'll just straight out pray, man.
Well, I believe I've drawn enough attention to myself as it is, so I'm probably not the one to go in there pretending to be someone else.
Well, I sure as heck don't plan on visiting this podunk town ever again, so I don't mind.
Sure enough.
Okay. So the three of you head back into the shrine proper.
I
Is that
think
what you're doing?
I think I'm gonna go alone or like away from them because they've already been established as being together. They don't know that the town doesn't know I'm with them.
I'm going to find a place nearby where I can keep an eye on the entrance, though, to see if any shady people go in.
Yeah, don't leave me alone.
Yeah, and I'll let me see if I have a spell that can help you in there.
So I'm
I'm
not
just
clear on
gonna
the
keep
plan,
guard.
man. Am I supposed to go in and pray, or am I not supposed to go in and pray?
I think I'm
That's
going
on.
in
Yeah,
and praying.
Maeve is.
Okay,
definitely
I'll
going.
stay out here and pray.
All right. Pray to your wood gods.
Yeah,
They're my
man.
wood gods too. I'm a ranger. But
So Maeva, you step away from the group, out of the little bush you were all talking in. You walk around through right into the door, and it is empty. But from the inside, you can see that the room is pretty much well lit by candles that are lining the area. With the air just kind of ventilating up towards that chimney that's directly above the entrance. You close the door behind you, and the rest of you see her step in, and no one else appears to be coming anywhere near the doors to this shrine. As you get in further and closer, you see that the shrine was once used as a regular place of worship. The ground is covered in twigs and leaves, and the pews have all just been pushed to one side, and debris is kind of just built up over them naturally. There's cobwebs and dust all over the place. But the area next to all of the statues, which are in the back, is all very pristine, clean, very well taken care of. And there are candles kind of not on all of them, but in front of all of them that light them up with a brilliant hue of orange that just seems to give life to them as the shadows flicker across their faces. What would you like to do?
I will go to the central altar, where I assume there's one of some kind.
So you step in and you can see that. So you've got 4 statues. One directly to the. If you're stood in the middle, you've got one to the left, one to the right, and then one northwest, one northeast.
Oh, okay.
In that kind of a position. And between the 2 that are northwest and northeast, there is a tiny little pedestal, a little altar that, as you get close to it, you can see inscribed into to the stone the words in common: "Make an offering to the gods. If they find the offering acceptable, then the path will be laid out before you."
Okay, I'm going to spend a moment kneeling and praying to see if it attracts any attention or brings anyone to me.
Okay. You kneel down. You kind of get into the same position that the giant had been in when it flared up and disappeared, and a couple moments go by and you almost kind of feel a little silly because nothing's happening.
I usually feel silly. It's okay. I'm a silly person. Alright, I'll stand up and leave then and tell my compatriots the additionally cryptic words that were on the pedestal.
right. Well, you saw an exchange of goods or
Money.
or coin or something. Money,
Yep.
Definitely money. Did
Money.
you see the money?
I'm pretty sure it was money. It looked very much like money. I know what money looks like.
Yeah, fair enough.
So we have to rob somebody. Right?
No, man, we just gotta pay the guy who did the thing,
He's
man.
not taking my money. I've only got 50, and that's supposed to last like the entire journey.
Maybe it only takes 2. You don't know.
Only if we get it back.
We can start putting gold one at a time in there until eventually there's enough.
Maybe we can go back to the tavern and they'll like give us some silver for our gold, and then we can do one at a time.
Yeah.
They probably. Well, see, the thing is that it seems like it's got to be quite a bit because the bag was a fistful here, and it said if the dudes want, if they approve of the offering, then they'll do something. So they have to at least approve it. Does anybody know what cloud giants like? Maybe we can like make something sentimental.
I don't think it's the cloud giants or the gods, man. It's just the one guy, the guy who you followed. I mean, if it was self-service, the cloud giant wouldn't need to have paid the guy. So we gotta find the guy.
I guess that's probably a fair point.
What are you gonna do when you find the guy?
We'll convince him to let us use his teleportation thingy.
Did he look like a fighter when I saw him?
No. Well, the way he was holding himself up seemed to suggest that he takes authority for authority's sake. He's obviously important, but never actually needed to get dirty.
Okay, then we could totally shake him down. That's totally an option.
Let's see.
You guys hold. I'll just throw my daggers at him. We'll play a little game.
Let's see.
Well, I guess we can find them back at the tavern, man. I mean, what else is there in this podunk town? We got a tavern, we got a store, and we got a church.
And a whole bunch of cottages.
We can start knocking on doors.
Oh, we found him in the tavern before. He's probably back in the tavern.
But if he knows that we're
not,
looking for us, and I don't trust that Anna hasn't given word that we're looking for someone.
Yeah, but
Or
don't
that
you want to
that's
see
war.
Anna again?
I'll see her in the shrine tonight. Don't you worry about that.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
If only we knew where he went.
Yeah, sorry,
So-
I dropped
Ooh.
the ball on that. I thought
Wait.
I had enough info.
You guys still in the bushes?
Right now, yeah.
What you doing?
For now, yeah. We're hanging out in the bushes right now, just having a party.
I'm gonna
It's totally natural for me.
go try to find blonde guy.
Okay.
Right.
What? In what ways are you going to be looking for him? Like, what tactics will you employ in your search?
Thinking about where someone like him would be, knowing what I know about him physically and how he holds himself. So, we know he's been at the tavern. We know that he seems to have an air of authority about him. We know that he's got a cloud giant tattoo that he can't remove. So,
Okay. Go ahead and roll me an investigation check. All right. It takes you about an hour or so of moving around the town, getting an idea of who's in where, and kind of tracking, okay, the better off people tend to be in this sort of section of cottages, and the poorer people are over here. And you do manage to track down a house that looks like it would be somewhere where a rich person would live in this town at all. And it's got a couple windows on the outside, and so you sneak up, you look, and you just catch sight of him inside this house, and you disappear. You move away. So you found him, he's in his home.
perfect. Is it nighttime, or is it about to be nighttime?
The sun is setting now, It's, well, after an hour of searching, the sun has finally crested down. Everyone else in town has moved to either the tavern or to their respective homes. And the road just gets emptier and emptier as the minutes go by.
Grab my lads, and I would be like, lads, I think it's time for a good old-fashioned burglary. A good
All
old-fashioned B&E.
Now we're talking my speed.
So let's wait till it gets a little bit later. If he's got kids, make sure they're asleep. And see if we can go wake him up standing over his bed and freak him out.
Okay, so you gather together, wait till it's dark. After it's really like the right time to start moving up and everyone's gone quiet, all lights have kind of died down, you make your way back towards the house. From your vantage point, you can see that there is a front door entryway to the house. It's made of wood. The rest of the house is a brick/wood building with a, same as the chapel, a wicker style roof. There is a chimney up at the top, same as the other houses and buildings, but the only obvious entryway is the door. What would you like to do to get into the home?
Well, if it's possible, first, there is the obvious route, but I also have a whole kit of thieves' tools here, and there are windows.
Yep.
So maybe we could break into the second story, completely bypass the first story.
I think that sounds like a good plan.
I think I got a rope.
I'm sure you will.
Yes.
In fact, you all do.
Yes.
Part of your packs.
Cool. Okay, so I'm gonna climb up there first.
Okay, so you throw up the rope, catches it, you move up. I need you to roll a stealth check.
Mm-hmm.
As you're climbing up.
What's with these 13s?
Lucky numbers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no.
So.
Oh no. Oh no.
It's okay. You make your way up. You get to the window. You look through. You're looking into the upper floor, just above where the stairs make their way up. So you can see a landing with 2 rooms on either side of this landing. The one to the right, as you crest up to the window, the door opens ever so slightly. You duck down. You hear some footsteps making their way over towards the window.
Oh, heck a dash. Heck a dash out of there. Try again later.
So you drop, you hide away.
Yeah.
You turn back to kind of look. The window opens ever so slightly, and you see this tiny little girl poke her head out the window.
Get my dagger ready.
And then she closes it back and heads back in, out of view.
I'm gonna wait a couple seconds and I'm gonna try it all over again.
Okay. Make your way back up. Another stealth check for me.
That's more like it.
More like it. All right. So you make it up this time, and you can see that she has left her door open, this little girl. So from your window, you can actually see into her room. It's dark, but she's asleep in her bed. She's not alone in that room. There's a couple little kids from your vantage point, which would seem to suggest that the room to the left is probably where this shady fellow could be found.
I'm gonna be like, guys, we should kidnap the little girl. Use her as leverage. That way we won't have to fight him or potentially fight him. And then if he tries to fight us, we already have his daughter.
I give her a thumbs up to gesture silently that I think that's a good plan.
Okay, well, she's like just now going to sleep, so we gotta either like,
Right.
I don't know.
I'm gonna climb up as well.
Okay, so you throw your rope up as well, or you're climbing
Yes.
up the same one that Maeva is using?
Yes.
Same one.
Same one?
Yeah, the same rope as Maeva.
All right, so now there's 2 of you Batman style up against the side of the building.
Mong, stay near the window in case anything happens. I
Will do.
might be able to do this really, really quickly.
I'm gonna cast silence in the house so that she doesn't make any noise when she's in there.
Okay.
And
Can I do that while I'm holding onto the rope?
Silence, does it require somatic component?
There is somatic. So I don't know if I could do that one-handed and hold on, maybe roll like a, I don't know what kind of check to see if I can hold on to it.
You can do it one-handed, but
Okay.
roll me an athletics check to see if you can hold on to the rope and keep your position while you're
Right.
casting the spell, okay?
is there any way I could use I don't know, one minute.
Okay. So you hold on, it's a bit shaky, and
Yeah.
his shaking is causing the rope to shake a little bit for Maeva, but you are able to cast the silence spell. Everything goes quiet. You're used to this kind of method before. You guys have worked as a team. So Maeva, as soon as everything goes eerily quiet, you know it's time to act. What are you doing?
I'm going to... He's got this... Okay. I'm going to go grab the girl, and I'm going to unleash my ever-smoking bottle so that nobody will be able to see any of this happening.
Okay, so you've got to get through the window first, which she had locked behind her. So pull out your thieves' tools and try to shimmy the window open so that you can get in. All right. 13s, man. Thankfully, like the way you shimmy it and move it, you can see that the wood is splintering somewhat, but all of the sounds have been just nullified, so no one can hear the wood creaking. Shifts open, you climb in, light feet, you step through. You grab the little girl. Go ahead and roll me either an athletics, well, just an athletics check to hold on to her. Okay. All right. You grab onto her, and as soon as you do, she starts to scream, but there's no sound. You still put your hand over her mouth for a moment. She calms down, quietens. You pop the ever-smoking bottle, and everything goes dark as the room just kind of fills with this smoke that's billowing out of this bottle. The smoke continues to expand and make its way, filling the entirety of the house, pushing up against the door of the parents' room. What are you doing while you're in, well, with the ever-smoking bottle, you are now in darkness?
Heavily obscured.
Heavily obscured, okay. So, it's very difficult to see.
But I remember exactly where I lined myself up for this. I run down the hallway where the window is at the end, and then I make a jump, and then I do a roll out the window and land with a roll with the child, leaving Mong.
With the child in your arms, grappling her, go ahead and make an acrobatics check with disadvantage.
And I'm going to use an inspiration for that.
Okay, so you're going to cancel it out. All right. So you leap through the windows. You know where it is. It's the tight squeeze, and you turn yourself just enough that you can feel the window frame scrape a little bit along your back as you tumble out backwards. You land on your feet. As soon as you all break out of the barrier of silence, you hear the girl screaming out aloud again.
Can I not, like, sleeper hold her or something?
Ooh, yeah.
Just put her
You're
out?
going to try and knock her out?
Yes.
Right.
Oh, while this is happening, I'm going to, like, shimmy down the rope and run back to where just Jordan is, just so there's no me hanging out on the wall when, like, the cops show up in 10 minutes or something. Just so that's stated.
Fair enough. So you guys are keeping watch. Maeva, you're trying to knock her out. You need to roll me a melee attack.
Okay.
As you're trying to actually do non-lethal damage to knock her unconscious. So go ahead and roll me a d20, add your strength modifier.
All right.
Unless you're going to use like a weapon that you're proficient in to do so.
I think I could still. It would be reasonable if I did non-lethal damage with the butt of a dagger.
Mm-hmm.
Say.
Okay, so go ahead and make an attack with the dagger, non-lethal, attacking this little child. Public service announcement for all of those that are watching. Please do not be violent towards children. These guys are playing evil characters for the sake of the story, for the one shot. They are not normally this evil.
I mean, you guys have
Go
never
ahead and
played
roll that
that
attack.
I don't know.
Do I get a proficiency bonus, dex weapon, all that good stuff? It's just
Yes.
just a regular attack, right?
Just a regular attack
All right.
if you're using the weapon.
All right.
All right. Okay. So AC of the little girl that you're grappled is not going to be very high. You whack her on the side of the head as you just land and she's starting to scream. Her body immediately goes limp. You can feel in her tiny little body that there is still a heartbeat. She is still alive, but she is unconscious
Excellent. And
in
now
your arms.
I'm gonna take her up like she just fell asleep on my shoulder, and then kind of duck around the corner of an alley.
Okay. So the three of you go back, hidden amongst the houses, with a unconscious child in your arms.
Okay, we really need to find like
Okay.
an HQ for a second.
Yeah, right.
You can back further away from town, back into the wooded area if you feel safer there.
That might not be a bad idea. But that might not be a bad place to go. Just thinking. How late is it now?
It's middle of the night somewhere. Time is a little tricky at night
Yeah.
in a fantasy world.
Yeah.
So
But it's been
Hey, man,
dark
we're-
for a while.
by now it's been dark for a while.
What are we doing with this kid, man?
Ransoming
She's
her.
leveraged. Yeah.
Should I just go knock on the door and tell the guy that we got his kid?
Well, no, because like we want the kid to be in a different spot when we go to meet him, so that he can't reclaim the kid from us.
Oh,
Just
should
by
we have left a
fighting.
note?
No. One of us
We-
needs to. This is how this goes, guys. It's like you haven't done
Sorry.
this before. Come on. So what you do is one of us goes and tells the guy, "Hey, we got your daughter," and when he's like, "Oh no," and he's like, "It's okay. She's unharmed, but she will only remain so if you do this." And we will return your daughter to you once our transactions have concluded. And, you know, depends on how we're
Alright.
feeling, but probably be easier not to lie, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, if the payment is the transportation, then let's go hang out at the shrine, and I'll go bring him to the shrine, and he can transport us. And when we're gone, this kid will be there unharmed, ish.
Do we want to risk someone coming to the shrine before the father gets us through there and seeing us, discovering us in there?
It's the middle of the night, man. Who's gonna be at the shrine?
You know, those religious folk praying all hours of the night.
Easy.
Sorry, Druid.
So long as we don't
Okay,
have the
so-
daughter in the same room as the father while we're trying to make this deal. Because otherwise that's just a bad deal.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
so
should I go get the guy, or should I not go get the guy?
I guess who should go get the guy is the...
You guys go get the guy. I'll look after the girl. I'll tie her up to a tree out here. Way out here.
All right.
And then you guys can come and get me when the deal's done, and I'll tell him where I left her. There you go.
Right.
But what if like a wild animal comes while she's here?
And that's not our fault.
Yeah, maybe he should have been faster. Maybe he should have loved his daughter a little more.
Exactly. Mong knows exactly what's up.
Mm-hmm. Right.
All right, let's do this.
I see the
Okay.
look at Aaron's face. He's regretting this whole
He
campaign.
didn't know we were capable of such things.
I will never again say, hey, I'd love to run an evil campaign for you guys.
How evil do you want to get?
It just brings
Since
out
it adds for the story and you are playing evil characters. This is going okay.
Well, good.
All right, so you're hiding out. Some of you are going to the shrine, but you're not taking the little girl to the shrine. Where are you taking the little girl? Out into the woods?
I am taking her out into the woods to the west, off
Okay.
the road, tying her to a tree before she wakes up.
Okay. You gag her and then tie her to the tree to make sure that she's safe, but isn't going to be running away. In the meantime, Bram is going to notify the father.
I'm going to go with, because if he's already noticed, he might have some kind of people there that would not take kindly to us appearing.
Okay.
So some extra arms might be good.
With the combination of the smoke that was put in the house and the silence spell, when you get there, though both things have worn off completely and disappeared, there still doesn't appear to be any sort of sign of life in the house. No lights are on. No one's gathered outside. You're fairly certain that you managed to get away with your kidnapping. So,
should we just go to the? Should we go through the window or go through the front door?
the window is still open.
It's still open?
Still open.
Okay. So I think how many more windows are there? Like, is this a very windowed?
There's one window in each of the rooms. So there's a window that leads out into the landing, and then if you made your way around, you'd see one window at the front, which should be the little girl's room. You make your way around the back. There's another window at the back of the house, probably leads into the father's room.
Yeah, I say, well, if our purpose is to notify the father, I don't know that we have to sneak in.
All right, man. I'll just knock on the door.
Okay. You knock quite loudly and wait for a second. You hear some disgruntled noises. Someone shouting, just mumbling to himself as he walks towards the door. Opens it. You see this individual that was in the inn before, though this is the first time you guys are seeing his face. Long, kind of shaggy blonde hair now because he's been asleep.
Oh, I have my weapon visible, just so, not like unsheathed, but visible, so that he knows that, so that there's no, he knows that we're armed, that we're not.
All right.
Yeah.
It takes him a moment as he looks at you. His eyes are focusing, and then you see a moment of recognition in his eyes. It's like, what? Why are you here? What do you want? What are you doing? A second later, a female starts walking down the stairs, and you see past her, and it's Anna from the bar.
Uh-oh.
What are you doing at my home?
That's not cool, man. I thought you were into my boy here. That's totally not cool, Anna.
Anna, fetch me my blade. You will regret waking me.
Whoa. What's with the hostility? This is really unnecessary. All I'm doing is just knocking on your door. Listen, buddy.
Well, no, actually, you continue. Sorry, I don't want to step on it.
We just want to have a conversation over at the shrine. So why don't you just, nice and easy, like, come with us to the shrine?
Why should I join you?
Because we have your daughter, man.
What?
You stay with me. You can have Anna check. You stay right where you're at.
Roll a persuasion check.
I'm just adding to the dramatic pause.
Owl goes, ooh. So he looks you all up and down, turns to Anna. She runs up. A second later, you hear a blood-curdling scream come from upstairs, at which point he just ignores you and just books it up the stairs. Disappears from view. Are you following him into the house?
Let's see. No, there's only, well, I'm gonna go outside by that window to keep an eye on him going to the kids' room. I presume I can at least like see into the window from down, not like good, but I can see commotion from there. Yeah. So I'm gonna go keep an eye on that end.
Okay.
So I
Bram,
walk in.
you're staying by the. You're walking in.
Yeah. Say, hey man, I thought we had an agreement. You need to just settle down. Your daughter's totally fine. Just calm down. Come with me to the shrine, and she'll stay fine.
So as you step in, you see the house proper. You've got a main living area. You walk down away from the door, and then double back to go up the stairs. After a moment, and after the screaming stops, you hear them shouting and arguing with one another. At which point he starts screaming, "You will regret this!" And he charges down the stairs. You can see that he has his weapon drawn.
I say, if you hurt me, you're not going to get your daughter, man. This is totally not cool.
As he pulls a hand crossbow up, directed towards you. You will give me my daughter, or I will kill you.
That's what I try to tell you, man. Just come with me to the shrine and you'll get your daughter. It's like you're not even listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth. Just walk with me to the shrine and your daughter will be totally cool.
Where is my daughter, you vile creature?
Hey, man. Walk with me to the shrine, and your daughter's totally going to be fine. And I just turned my back, and I walk out.
Okay, as you turn your back, does a 17 hit you?
Yeah.
Okay. You feel a sharp pain as a crossbow bolt connects with your shoulder. It's not a powerful one. You only take 1 point of piercing damage, but it embeds itself into your flesh. You will give me my daughter now.
What is this, man? This is totally uncalled for. You can't expect to shoot me and to get what you want. You can't have both things, man. This aggression will not stand.
Roll a persuasion check.
Do I hear any of this going on from where I am? Because I know I'm not too close to the door.
You probably definitely heard
the
twang of the crossbow bolt and him shouting at him.
Well, I'm going to just go back to the front door and watch, just to see. He probably can handle it, but come back to there.
I am not going anywhere with you until you bring my daughter here.
So I will wild shape into a cave bear.
Okay. You start flexing your muscles as they expand and shift, and your nose grows out to the snout of a bear. Go ahead and roll me an intimidation check, because this is going to be scary.
I'm just going to yell in while this is happening. It's like, you could have just come, and none of this would be happening right now.
All right. You have no bonuses on any of those? Persuasion? Wow. So, the moment you shift into a bear, he drops both his crossbow and his sword and just starts to back away. What?
Like,
Please.
Roar!
Okay, fine. I'll come with you. Don't harm my little girl. Please. And he walks towards you, hands out, please. What are you doing with him?
Well, let's see. I'm going to guide him to the rendezvous point with our bear in tow.
Mm-hmm.
And but I'm going to have my bow and arrow out and, knocked so that if he runs, I'm going to hit him with the bow and arrow because we don't need him running away. And I'll tell him this much, like, come with us. If you run, you will die. And if you run and die, your daughter probably will too. So it's probably better for everyone that you come quietly and we just settle this like the grown-ups that we are.
Okay.
Right.
He turns back to his wife, who is inside the house.
I say, no. I didn't. I said, come quietly. Now let's go.
Okay. And he walks out. Maeve, are you at the shrine by now?
I thought that the plan was to be outside with the girl tied up, and then once they got him to the shrine, one of them would come get me, and I would leave the little girl, join everyone, and then we would tell the father where the daughter is, so that while he goes to get her, we move on. Or he gives us the teleportation before we give him the location of his daughter. Otherwise, we're giving up our leverage before we get what we want.
Yeah, we don't need
so that was your plan. So you make your way through the town. It is still quiet. He looks nervous, very nervous in his simple little nightgown as he works his way, following you to the shrine. You see that as you get closer to the shrine, his steps start to pick up and he starts to get a little bit quicker, hoping that his daughter may be inside, almost pushing past the cave bear in front of him as he heads into the shrine. And it's empty. You see his shoulders just slack. Like, where is my daughter?
She's still safe. She's not here. Are all three of us here now? Or
no,
one of us needs
to
go
get
get
of you.
Okay.
One of you now needs to go and get Maeva.
Okay. So I'll get Maeva. So I'll say to Brahm, I'll go get Maeva. You stand watch over the door so that he doesn't bolt.
Okay, so you head out. You make your way up towards Maeva. You two, you meet, you talk. Okay, gotta go. You're leaving the little girl where she is, or you're taking her with you?
Leaving her.
Leaving her there. Okay,
I'm just
you leave her
hoping
there.
she wakes up before wolves get her.
Okay. While you're doing so, Bram, the cave bear druid, you are watching this guy intently, kind of walking back and forth as he is also just pacing back and forth with so energy, just angry and like, come on, please be safe. Talking to himself as much as to you. He turns briefly every now and then towards the idols, the statues that are up, and glances, says a little prayer, please, by Miliki, please let her be safe. By Shantae, please let her be safe. He goes through a little prayer to Miliki, Shantae, Auril, and Angarad, 4 different gods. By the time he finishes his 4th prayer, Maeva and Mong, you step through into the shrine. Like, okay, where is she now?
First, and I hold up a lock of her hair that I cut off when I was with her. It's like, she's fine. She's in one piece for now. What we want is to know what's up with this semicircle here, and what's up with the flashy lights.
Okay. My daughter will be safe if I tell you.
You have my word.
Okay. Roll persuasion or intimidation with advantage. It's up to you.
We'll go with intimidation.
You have a piece of his daughter. All right.
14.
Good thing you had advantage on that.
Yeah. Well, I got
All right.
I got luck and I got inspiration on top of that, so it's gonna be a minute before I fail a roll.
Yeah. All right. So he turns towards the statues and says, "The gods watch over the portal to the castle above. Only giants can activate it, or rather, anything given by the giants." And he holds out his arm, shows the tattoo, and as he waves his arm closer towards the statues, you see it almost glows a little bit blue. I can activate the portal. You can go through to the castle. I don't care what you're gonna do there. Just where is my daughter?
Can I insight check him to make sure that he will send us?
Yeah.
If I tell him.
I'm going to
Go ahead
insight
and
that
insight
too,
check.
actually.
Yeah, both of you. Go ahead.
Hey.
100%. He is absolutely your slave right now, and he is
It's
scared of you to such a degree that he's doing this with so much urgency. Like, please, just, I'll open it now. I'll let you go.
I'm gonna saunter on past him and drop the piece of hair in his hand as I do walk past him, and then stand up at the portal and motion for my fellows to come on. And I said, "All right, well, here we go then."
Where's my daughter?
Are my guys next to me?
Yes.
Oh,
they've
yes.
moved.
Yeah.
Okay, so your daughter is tied to a tree just outside off of the main road. If you go about half a mile to the east after you leave the gate, you'll run right into her. She's right before a tree line.
Okay. He steps forward, and as his arm gets close enough, the light almost ignites the air around it. The light that's coming off of his tattoo it sets the air in a nice blue blaze that then connects with the arcane images on the floor. They all flare up, and you all three disappear as you teleport up into the cloud castle. It's a strange feeling to teleport. Everything kind of feels like you're not actually corporeal anymore. Your body seems almost fluid as you're flowing through the air. There's a myriad of colors just blowing past you as the room that you enter starts to come into focus. You are in a large open chamber. There's colors everywhere, tiles, mosaics all over the ceiling, the wall, the floor, and you're looking at a huge stone throne as 4 winged creatures all turn to you holding spears. We're going to take a 15-minute break there, guys. Set up for the battle. Be back in 15 minutes, and we'll see you then. All right. Welcome back, everyone. So, real quick, welcome, Matthew. Thanks for jumping in during the break. For those watching, Matthew will be joining us when his character appears in this particular area. So, the rest of you, the 3 of you, Maeva, Bram, and Mong, you teleport, reappear in this enormous chamber with colors all over the place, huge golden statues of giants either side of the room, and these 4 winged creatures to the side. Let's put on some battle sounds, and I would like everyone to roll initiative for me.
Should I roll as well, or just wait for an opportunity?
Just wait.
Moment? Very good.
Yeah. So for those who may be new to Roll20, to roll initiative, there should be an initiative button in your character sheet. Make sure you select your token before you press the initiative button.
That'll do it.
So,
For
just
some
waiting
reason-
on Maver's. Why didn't it populate? Let me grab you. I'll just add you manually.
I hit the sheet on it and it wasn't selecting. Like, I selected the token and it wasn't responding. So I just did it the old-fashioned way.
No problem.
And for some reason-
Monk. Yep.
My initiative rolled twice. So obviously, I'd be happy to take the second one, but the first one would be the legit one, which was a 5.
Okay. Cool. So, as you kick into, you see these creatures bearing down on you. One of them immediately flies up into the air towards you, but staying up about 15 foot above you, and will throw its spear down at Maver, because Maver's right there. So that attack will be a 10 to hit, so it's going to miss.
Yep, misses.
Right. Yeah. So the spear flies past you and embeds itself into the floor. That's all that bird creature does. Another one of it moves up, does a similar pattern, but on the other side, and will throw a spear down at Mong.
Nice.
That's also going to miss because that's only a 7 to hit. So misses off. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, sorry guys. Back, where were we? So that creature missed. Maver, your turn. What would you like to do?
You are muted.
I knew I was forgetting something. Step up to bird guy, and then I'll whack him.
Okay. He is 15 foot above you, still flying.
Oh, he's flying.
The two that moved forward stayed up in the air about 15 foot high.
Oh.
He jumps.
You've got two more directly in front of you that are still stood on the ground. Could you make it to them? Seems so.
Yeah, barely. That's it. Okay, thank you. So, I won't have entered that guy's... No, he's still 15 foot, so I wouldn't be. Alright. And I'm gonna attack him. Normally.
Okay.
Here, with a short sword.
You run up, pull out your short sword, swing for the attack. It does hit. So for 9 points of damage, but this is... He's not surprised, but...
Nope, no sneak attack. And then I will use a... Nope. I can't, because I already moved my entire 30 feet.
Okay, is that it for you then,
I think that's it. I'm trying to get my head in order, because there's a lot of things to remember here. So I apologize. Yep. I messed my turn up, and that's okay. So I guess
Okay.
I'll stay there.
So, the last Arako, the last creature on the other side of the throne will do a similar move as the one before, flying up to 15 foot high as he throws a spear down at Mong. Ooh, this time it is a 22 to hit you, Mong.
That certainly does.
It's going to hit you. So as this spear embeds itself into your flesh, you take 5 points of piercing damage.
Okay. It's not too bad.
No, it's not bad at all. But that's all he is going to do. Mong, what would you like to do?
Well, none too pleased with what has just happened. I'm going to mark him as my hunter's mark.
Okay.
Using the spell, and I'm going to let an arrow fly. Stay put where I am, and just shoot at him.
All right.
So, and then it gets plus 1d6 for the. Well, if it hits, I'll get plus 1d6.
So you aim, you pull back, it soars through the air and embeds itself deep within the chest of this creature. It does hit. Go ahead and roll the damage.
Oh, hold on.
So.
Oh no, I only have advantage on, not on attack rolls. Okay, just making sure, because then I'm. All right. Where's
Sorry.
the dice? Sorry. D6.
Wait.
Okay, so plus that.
Okay. So you roll 11 points of piercing damage, and an additional 6 for your hunter's mark. Okay. So it takes 17 points of piercing. I've also just quickly made the change to your sheet so that it auto rolls the damage.
Oh, did it not do that? Sorry.
It didn't roll the damage, but that's because I left it turned off. So your
Right.
arrow embeds itself deep into the flesh, and it screams out in a squawk of pain. And is that it for you, Mong?
I think. Yeah, I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna run towards. Let's see. I'm gonna try to get cover somewhere if I can. So I'm gonna head towards this chair or throne. It's not.
So
Actually.
you have it. So up in the top left corner, you've got a row of
Oh, I see. I see
tools.
it.
You've got the ruler selected.
There we go.
As a trick, just to help, while
Yeah.
you're moving your character around, if you press the space bar, you'll see the ruler pop up just to help you
okay.
anyway.
That's handy.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. So you run around, you try to duck behind cover, or at least you hold yourself.
I'm moving
next to
towards,
something.
yeah.
All right, then Bram. Are you still in cave bear form?
That depends. It took. It would have lasted 2 hours when I wild shaped.
You are still a cave bear.
Okay. Well, then, as a cave bear, I would like to run up and take a bite out of that guy.
Okay. So go ahead and attack.
Are you able to give me?
I am. I'm just
okay.
pulling up
Okay.
the cave bear sheet. So you should see the cave bear character sheet now.
I do.
All right. So you should have full control over it. And there's your new token. You've run up. Attack it. Go ahead and roll your attacks.
Okay. Let's see. Since I have that insignia, I have a +1 to hit and +1 damage as well.
Yep.
All right. He's going to do a bite and a claw attack.
Okay, so the bite attack does hit. So does the claw. So dig deep into its flesh. As you bite in, you rip a chunk of flesh out. You then bring your claws down and dig in deep into the wound and just tear this bird creature in half. It falls dead and limp after that mauling that you just did.
I'm thinking.
Again, it was whispered. Let me.
Yeah.
Need to change that default setting. There we go. Changed. Cool. Anything else from you, Bram?
I'll use the rest of my movement to go towards this guy.
Okay. So that guy that you've moved towards is still 15 foot above you. You are a large bear, but you're not quite close enough to attack. However, it is now his turn. Without his spear in hand, he drops down towards you in your form, draws out a blade, and at ground level with you, will now attack you twice. First attack is a 12 to hit, so I'm assuming is that going to hit your bear?
That hits, yeah.
Okay, so the first attack does hit, dealing 5 points of slashing damage. Second attack is a 14 to there, Skype. Oh, you're back. Okay, so did the 14 hit you?
Yes.
Okay. So this time you take 10 points of slashing damage, and it cuts deep into you with its blade. That's its turn done. The Aarakocra creature on the other side will also fly down, but back towards the ranger that is hiding behind the throne. You're on that side of it. He's going to draw out a blade and unleash 2 attacks on you, Mong. First attack being a 17 to hit.
That does hit.
That'll hit. Okay. You'll take 4 points of slashing damage. Second attack is a crit, natural 1, so
okay.
Crit fail.
You said crit, I'm like, oh no.
No, it's a crit fail, so misses terribly on that. Maeva, you are up. The creature before you has been slain and ripped apart.
Is the
What
one
would you like to do?
tangling with Mong on the ground?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to run up to him and unleash Bladed Fury.
Okay. So that'll definitely hit. You run up, dig your blade deep into its flesh. It's looking severely wounded by that.
And I will stay there. Almost stay there.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? Can I use a bonus action to get him with a dagger in my offhand? I have a button for it.
Yeah, go ahead. You can do that. You're wielding twice. Nice. That will actually be enough. As you bring your offhand around, you make sure to put the blade into the same kind of area that the first one had cut in to make that wound even worse.
And a twist.
With a horrible screech. The creature seizes up for a moment before falling to the ground.
Spit on it.
Anything else? That's your bonus action done. You're all done. So the last creature will, in a rage, fly down to you, Maeva, and will attack you with his sword twice. First is a nat 1. Second is another nat 1.
We're all
3 nat 1s in a row.
The cosmos know it's my birthday.
You cannot be touched this session. All right. So as he flails wildly in anger, it's Mong's turn.
All right. Well, this scrub. Oh, actually, I did want to know. I don't know if I saw this in 5E. Are there penalties for shooting at, making rage attacks at things engaged in combat with allies? Melee?
Yes. So if you are aggressive towards you, then you have disadvantage. Then you don't have any disadvantage.
Sorry, I think I was up. So,
sorry.
What happened?
So, from your position, You do still have a pretty good shot of this creature without imposing any sort of disadvantage. If you were in melee range with it, you would have disadvantage.
But if I'm not in melee, then it's fine.
Yeah.
Cool. Then I'm gonna let another arrow out at him.
Okay.
So where did she go? All right. Ooh, I think that hits.
So 29 will hit, and as the arrow connects with this creature, it connects as it's wildly flailing about, missing terribly. As its swing comes out, the arrow hits it right in the chest, sends it to the floor. It is dead.
Right.
Right. Anything else from you, Mom?
Well, since I haven't moved, I'm just gonna move up next to it and take my arrows out of it so I can have them.
Okay. So you pull them out. Bram, in your bear form, what would you like to do?
If I stand up on high legs, can I?
He's come down to your level.
Oh, has he?
To have attacked you with his blade, he's down on your level. You can still get up and...
I'll do exactly that.
Those are two powerful shots, and you rip into this creature for a full 26 points of damage. It just tears asunder underneath your barrage.
Like,
all right, so as the last of these creatures falls and the room calms down, you are out of initiative. All you can hear now that battle has calmed down and the adrenaline is reducing is the sound of wind in the distance. You're definitely up high somewhere.
I'd like to search the bodies for anything useful to find our way around or potentially give a good lie about later. Any useful information for where we're at.
Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check around the room as you look at various different things. Okay. The room itself doesn't really give too much audience hall. So this is obviously a very ornate throne. It's covered in gemstones, but the only physical way out of here is to the west, down that corridor. But there's not really anything that should indicate where your target items are, so to speak.
Okay, well, it's not here.
Well, I say we go for it.
Huh?
I say we keep on trekking. There's nothing here. We got a mission. We have an objective.
Who wants to lead?
The bear should lead.
over.
So the bear waddles forward. You all follow it out towards the corridor. The whole building, the whole area is well lit, so you can see very clearly most of the place. And the walls tend to depict various different mosaics of different landscapes. Lots of different clouds and sky scenes and beautiful tapestries within each of the tiles. But as you make your way out the corridor, it splits in two directions, left and right. I need everyone to roll perception checks as they reach the end of this corridor.
Would this have anything to do with smell?
Yes, you can use smell to perceive. So that would give the cave bear advantage. If he doesn't have perception as a skill listed in his skills up at the top, just roll a wisdom. Okay, there we go. So 22 is good. Mong with your 20, you also tell, and Maeva, what's your passive? Passive's
10.
10. Okay. So you're 12. You don't quite hear it, but so Bram the bear, you smell distinctly that there are some form of winged creature, maybe monstrosity of sorts, to the south. Mong, you hear wild, like the sounds of flapping wings, but you also hear that those wings seem to be hitting something metal as they're flapping. And you hear the rattling of some metal far to the south.
Do we hear anything coming from the north?
You don't hear anything coming from the north.
Well, since the bear can't talk, I'm going to quietly tell Maeva that there seems to be more of those bird creatures down to the south. I don't hear anything up to the north. My gut says that if there's guards to the south, that's probably the way we need to be going.
I will very quietly sheathe my short sword and dagger and pull out my short bow and go into stealth mode.
And I will nod my huge head.
Okay. So you all make your way down south, the south corridor, correct?
I'm going to be stealthing.
Yeah, did you guys want to stealth ahead, or did you want me to continue leading?
It's probably stealth ahead if we hear sounds.
And I will follow behind.
Okay. So those heading up in front of the bear, go ahead and roll stealth checks as you make your way up or down the corridor. Okay. So you continue down, and the closer to the door down to the far south that you go, the louder the noise of this these wings flapping against metal gets, almost to the point where you yourselves can't hear the footsteps of the bear that's following you. You get closer and you can start to kind of get a better picture of what these sounds are, what's causing these sounds. There is something trapped inside of cages. Maybe it's more than one thing that seems to be in a cage, and the cage itself is rattling as the wings keep flapping. But you come to this large door. It's a giant door. It's 20 foot high, 10 foot wide. Huge iron handle is a good 10 foot up.
That's bear height.
You still... Oh, what's up?
So you trying the
reach
handle?
The door handle.
Okay. So the bear pats its way up the door and puts his paw on the handle, and the door handle shifts, but the door is pretty heavy. It's going to take a heavy push to be able to open it up. Anyone that wants to do so, roll an athletics check. If two of you are proficient, one can help the other and give that person advantage. But I don't think you guys are too proficient in athletics.
We're all dex
No.
fighters.
Yeah, we're all very quick and sneaky, but we're not very strong. But I'll see if I can do something with the door.
All right. Well,
Oof,
as
nope.
Mong, you're pushing against the door, you feel like, hey, this feels pretty easy. You look to your right and you realize the reason why it's easy for you is the bear is struggling under the weight, but it pushes and it shifts the door.
And that's the one at the bottom?
The one at the bottom.
Yeah.
The door opens wide and you guys can see clearer that the things that were flapping inside these cages are actually huge griffins. 5 of them locked inside of these cages. There are manacles around their necks that are tied to the top, and as they're flapping and trying to fly around these cages, it's causing that shaking and that rattling. The noise is almost deafening with all of the things moving around here.
I think we should let him out because I think that it would behoove us to create some chaos.
Yeah, but we let 5 griffins out of cages in a room this small. I don't know how much they're going to like us being here.
Well, they're not going to like us being here anyways.
That's fair enough.
Looking at the rest of the room, directly in front of you, on the other side of the room, you can see that there are some large slits in the wall that jut out from the building itself out into the sky, almost looking like a landing platform of sorts.
Oh, this might be our way out.
Ooh, yeah.
But then you look to the left, you can see these enormous double gold doors off to the left. There is designs carved into it. Each door looks to have a different colored dragon, one gold, one silver, in a huge fight that leads right to the center of these doors. What would you like to do?
Are they responding to our presence at all, or are they just frustrated that they're in these cages? If we can even tell.
So, which of your skills would best be suited for identifying that sort of thing? Animal handling?
Maybe.
Probably be best.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll an animal handling check.
Oh, I didn't do too bad. Too badly.
Not bad, so 19. So you focus on these creatures and what they're doing. They don't seem to care so much about use as much as they do just being free. You know what kind of creature this is. It is a griffin. And for all intents and purposes, griffins are supposed to be majestic kind of creatures that roam free and rule the lands that they're on. And to be confined to such a small space, they look like they've gone wild from containment. And they don't care about you at all.
I think Mava's idea might not be a bad one at all. So,
What, hitching a ride?
well, yeah, I don't know if we want to keep them here so we can get out, or if we want to let them loose so they can draw some attention away from us.
If we wanted to use them as an escape route, what I would do is I would open the doors and prepare the path, but leave the griffins in the cages. And
Sounds good.
Get here first, before anyone finds out what we've done.
Well, just to clarify, they don't have any doors that they would have to contend with outside the cages. Is that right?
Right.
No, they wouldn't.
Okay, so we don't know what's behind the dragon door.
The dragon door is the one to your left.
Mm-hmm. And then the landing pads.
This way. The landing pads are open out onto the sky.
Okay.
But they are chained inside their cages.
Mm-hmm. Each of them with a chain around the neck that is linking to the top center point in the cage. And each of these cages are huge cages.
Yeah.
So presumably the chains are around their necks because if you opened the cage door, they just fly out. Is that?
Could be. It's a good guess. What would you like to do?
We can't really hear anything because of all the ruckus.
Not really. You can go ahead and make a perception check, but your passives aren't able to hear anything.
Can I sniff beneath this door?
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Go ahead and do that. Go ahead and roll a perception check with advantage. So 21. Okay. So you sniff underneath and you smell something quite distinct. A couple things. 2 very smelly, mucky creatures. A third reptilian kind of creature. and then a couple. Those are the smells that are kind of overpowering the room, so you can't really gain much more than that.
I'm going to listen to see if I can hear through the griffins to put some stuff down. I'm sure it's going to be.
Put your ear up against it. You hear what sounds to be something fairly large, moving some heavy chain around, so you can hear the ching, 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 and two creatures talking to one another. They are talking in. Let me just double check. So they are talking in Giant, which you don't speak.
I do not.
No.
Curses.
So you don't quite understand, but they're talking to one another while this chain is being yanked and pulled.
So, am I alone in believing that our group may be most suited for not breaking down doors and rushing into combat?
You are not alone in that thought.
Perhaps we should look at our other option up there before...
Head up north.
Yeah, before we mess with these doors.
Sounds good to me.
Would our landing platform provide a convenient entrance for a fourth player character, perhaps?
Ooh, maybe.
Metagaming is on the other side of the door. So.
Okay, let's rock, paper, scissors for it. Me and you, Bear. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, ready?
2, 3.
You're very bad at this. Let's do it again. Okay, try harder this time.
What are you doing?
We're doing rock, paper, scissors. 1, 2, 3, go. Scissors. Bear claw. Bear claw beats scissors. I guess we're going through the doors.
Okay. So you're going to push open those doors?
No, this is a bad idea. I just want to make everybody know this is a bad idea. This is not good.
Well, I'm going to stand back here and maybe we can open the doors and
Yeah.
like, lure them in here.
Oh, I'm going to hide behind this while he's opening the...
Yeah. Oh, God.
Okay. So,
Oh, no.
as the bear pushes the door open, you all see a very interesting sight. And this is where we switch to Matthew's character, Herif, the human monk. You, Matthew, you, Herif, are a part of the same organization as them. In fact, you know them personally. These group of people that are now barging through this door. You worked with them in the past for this group, and to give you the same background that they had, you don't really remember much more earlier than the service within this organization. You have been indoctrinated and you follow it without question, really. You had been sent to gain access to this castle, and you were the last person that was sent before they sent this group, because you never returned. You were very quickly captured upon attempting to get onto the castle itself through natural means, and you were taken into this cell. You've been in here for 3 days. They have been feeding you, so you're not exhausted or anything like that, but they've kept you in this cell with this bronze dragon. And what you've seen is that they torture it and they harm it, and it looks sad. But the way it's chained up with a huge muzzle, chains around its neck and all of its limbs, there is no way it can get out of here. It's completely at their mercy. And you suddenly see the door burst open, a huge bear stepping in the way, as these two ogres turn around, look at the bear. And they start walking towards the bear. What are you doing, Matthew?
What
You're in a
do I
cage,
know
by the way.
about what do I know about bronze dragons?
So, being that they are metallic, they tend to be of a goodly nature. You being part of a fairly evil organization, you almost pity this creature for being such a majestic creature, but being weak in that it is good. That's what you know of this kind of thing.
I recognize the bear that walks in, I presume.
There aren't many bears that would suddenly walk through a door in a giant stronghold in such a way. Maybe the tuft of hair on top of it. There's a good chance this is a druid.
It's a very handsome bear.
Yep.
Well, Harif's going to sit back and just watch. This is interesting.
Okay. So
What a surprising turn of events. Don't ask me
Bram-
how, but he has a cup of tea. He's just sitting back and watching this thing.
Bram the bear, you break open the door. You see this dragon chained up, looking pitiful. You can see these ogres that just turn and look at you, confused. And a friend of yours, locked inside a cage off to the south. What do you do?
I charge at the ogres.
Okay, then I would like everyone to roll initiative, and we'll also have Herif roll initiative as well.
Oh, I didn't select my token again.
No problem.
That-
You rolled
That took me a while to learn to select that every
90.
time.
Yeah.
And Maeva rolled a 17.
Our initiative is much better than last time, all around.
Much better. Did the cave bear roll anything?
No, I don't see an initiative on his sheet, so I was just going to roll it on Bram's.
Ooh, good initiative, Cave Bear.
If you'd like to take the 20, you can take the 20.
Oh, well, if you're going to twist my arm.
All right. I'll also roll initiative for the dragon, even though it's not going to be able to do much. So, you charge in. You're up first.
There we go. Inspired by my internal fight music, I will charge up to this first giant and take a bite and swipe my claws at him.
Okay. Go ahead and attack him. So, yep, both attacks will definitely hit. So, 12 and 13. Okay. You tear into his flesh. Anything else from you, Cave Bear?
I will continue moving to the other side of him.
Okay. Mong.
Right. First things first, I'm going to move so I'm not behind this thing anymore, so I get a clear shot with my arrow. Right there. Okay. And do I have a clear shot from here on the ogre that was just attacked?
Yes, you do. It's a little bit obscured. Did I give you the sharpshooter feat?
Oh, let me check. I think you gave me lucky. Yeah.
I gave you lucky
So-
instead of sharpshooter. Okay.
Oh, I do have sharpshooter. I have lucky and sharpshooter on my sheet.
Yeah, I gave each of you 2 because one for being human variant, one for passing level 4. So
Okay.
it is a difficult shot. It does have cover because you'd have to go through the cage to be able to get the clear shot. But because you're a sharpshooter, you're used to these kinds of shots, so
Right.
you're able to get a clear one.
Great. So I'm gonna make a shot. I'm not gonna mark him yet because I want to see how, my guy is not too worried about these. And I think I get Yeah, I can I'll see how this goes first before.
Okay. So that'll definitely hit. The arrow embeds itself deep into the creature's flesh for 7 points of piercing. It's now looking fairly weak. It's taken a lot of damage, and it's barely able to stand. It's screaming in pain. Anything else from you, Mong?
No. Nothing else.
Okay. Well, the other ogre will run directly towards the bear and will attack the bear with his great club. That's a 16 to hit the bear. Does that hit? Okay. The bear does take 5 points of bludgeoning damage. As it just bear, good. That's it for that. Maeva, what would you like to do?
I am going to dash all the way. Let's see. I think that'll do it.
Yep.
And then I will use a cunning action to try to pick this lock.
Okay. So go ahead and use your thieves' tools. Actually, let me double check. Your cunning action allows you to
Disarm
do
trap
what action?
or it's the fast hands from the thief.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Cool. So with a very quick click, you open the cage door and reveal Herif, who is now unlocked.
I'm gonna be like, you better have some weapons on you. And then
All of your equipment is conveniently, just next to the cage. They're not too smart, these ogres. All right. Anything else from you, Maeva?
that's all I can do.
All right. So the ogre that's been hit a lot is going to charge through the door
Oh, that's not
towards the thing that attacked him last.
Can I get an attack of opportunity on him?
Yes, you can.
I'll claw at him.
So you use your reaction to rake down on his back, and that's actually enough to pull him down to the ground. That ogre falls as he's trying to charge away from the bear towards the hunter. So that's it for that ogre. Next, you see the dragon trying to struggle forward and pulling at its chains. It's trying to breathe out, but the muzzle around its mouth is just keeping it from being able to do so. So it struggles and struggles, but ends its turn in a failure. Herif.
Ah, Maeva. So good to see you again. And then chuck some darts at the ogre. They were silly enough to leave them with me. And I'll throw 2 with my normal attack and extra attack.
So both of them hit. You don't have advantage on the shot, so you don't get the crit. But you do deal that 15 points of piercing damage from those 2 darts. They embed themselves. Anything else from you?
What a pleasure to be working together again, I am sure. That is all.
Okay. Cave Bear.
Roar!
Another 2 powerful attacks. 25 to hit and a 26 to hit, so that's definitely doing a lot of damage. He looks very weak now. Blood is pouring down from all of the many claw wounds, and you've still got flesh in your claws, after the impact of that. Anything else from you, Cave Bear?
No, but I have added the ones to his sheet, so you don't have to add them separately.
Okay, cool. All right, then Mong.
All right. Well, I'm going to move myself again to get a good vantage to the other ogre. I'm going to let loose another arrow. See what I can do with this guy.
Another solid shot. In fact, this one, as the arrow flies through the air, where would you like it to land as you kill this creature?
Let's see. Right through the eye.
Okay. So as he's reeling back from the claw attacks from the bear, he leans back for a moment and the arrow just soars right through. He looks at it for a second, it goes right in, sticks out the back as a flash of blood sprays behind it, and the heavy ogre just as it lands on the ground with a heavy thud. The dragon still thrashing away at the chains. What do you guys want to do?
I'll be leaning on the cage like, so, Harif, come here often?
Not often enough, if it would mean seeing your glorious visage.
Ah, you sweetie pie.
Now, let me out of here. I have some words to speak to the dragon.
Well, you're a free man again.
I presume there's an actual lock on the door that we have to, like...
She's already unlocked it.
Okay.
She'd already done it in the middle of combat. You were able to get out of the cage, grab your stuff from just next to the cage, not in. They wouldn't have left the weapons on you.
Right. All right, I'm going to walk up to the dragon and try to, like, just grab the muzzle and pull it down and look it in the eyes. If he's not struggling too much. You do not like it here, do you? I do not like it either, but I will make you a deal on one condition. I will set you free if you help me to destroy all your captors. And then once we have destroyed all your captors, you may go your way, I will go mine. Yes? Very well. Do not make me regret this. And then I will unlock him.
Okay. He's got a huge muzzle on his mouth. How are you unlocking it?
Oh,
I'd like to undo the chain first and get to the muzzle second. See if he thrashes as soon as he gets free with the muzzle still on.
Okay. So you unhook the chain off the wall, effectively unleashing him. He's still manacled by all of his arms and both arms and legs. So he doesn't thrash about physically anymore, but he's still not...
I'll undo everything but the muzzle.
Okay. In what way are you going to undo these heavy manacles?
I am happy to offer my services.
Ah, Maeva, you are truly a delight.
Of course, of course. I enjoy accruing however many favors you owe me. What are we up to, by the way? Like 10, 20?
I did not know we were counting, but if we were counting...
Oh, we're
it would be
counting.
8 to 7 in my favor.
Your favor? If you're talking about that time with the count,
you are correct.
That wasn't fair.
You did just unlock me. I suppose it is worth 2. I owe you 1.
Okay, fine. Deal. Alright, I'll go.
So go ahead and roll one Thieves' Tools check just to see how you repeatedly go around and unlock all of these. Okay. Without any trouble at all, you go around and you unlock all of the chains that Harif asks you to unlock. So leaving the muzzle down. But having released his hands, he's immediately going to start trying to push. But you see that he just can't. There's no way he can pull this thing off of his mouth. I think you're muted. Or no.
Thank you. No, that was right. My dear friend, I hope you do not mind too much. We will leave that in place for now, and then once we are free of this place, I will free you of that manacle we are friends, but we have not had dinner or gotten to know each other very well, and I do not know if your intentions are honorable. But carry on with us, and the muzzle will go before we leave this place. Perhaps
Shrugs
earlier, if you can
a little
convince me
bit.
to trust you, my friend.
Can I pull Harif to the side for a second, like do a little huddle, sideline huddle, and tell him if you want him to be used for the sake of killing all the occupants in the place, then the breath weapon in these tight corridors really is going to be the most powerful, potent instrument that we have.
I agree with you.
If he hasn't raised a hand against us literally to swipe at us with a talon, I don't predict that he's going to use his breath weapon against us.
Let us give him a chance to kill one or two things with his claws before we let his breath weapon out. Because as you say, in this small place, a breath weapon could kill many people, including us.
You got it. Age before beauty.
Oh, you cut me to my heart, my pet.
The dragon shuffles forward, looking a little bit defeated, gets out into the cage. As it steps out of the room into the area where all the griffins are, all the griffins just turn to pay attention to the dragon, and they start flapping their wings furiously. He's obviously riled them up, but he steps into the room, looks at the opening, turns back to you all.
Can I insight check to know what that means?
Go ahead and roll an insight check. See if you can kind of figure out what he's trying to say while he's muzzled. Okay. He's trying to get across the idea that if you don't take this off, he's going.
Do I have your sacred word as a metallic dragon that you will see this adventure through to the end? Cross your heart and hope to die?
I like this guy. He's got personality.
I leave it to you, Maeva.
All right. Come here, big guy.
Leans down with a click. You unhook it.
There you go, sweetie. You better?
Quite. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Been in there for a very long time.
You're pretty.
Thank you. I was much prettier before they started attacking me with their various little things.
Let's get some revenge.
Revenge, retribution. Either way, it will be correct. Onward.
Yeah, about that. I'm pretty weak. I don't know if I'd be that much of use to you all. Thank you very much for releasing me. But I'm not gonna follow you further in. A lot of people in there.
I believe we had a deal. What was this?
I will help you, but I can't fight with you.
Can you grant wishes? Are you one of those types of dragons?
I can't grant wishes, but I can grant a blessing.
This intrigues me. What type of blessing?
A dragon's protection.
That sounds neat.
You will forgive me. The bear does not know what that means. Perhaps you could explain in more detail.
With my blessing, you will be more protected from danger. You do not have to have it, but I cannot go on through here.
It's better than nothing. Hang on now.
Mm-hmm. Will you accept my blessing as payment?
I vote yes.
On one condition, because you agreed to aid us in the battle. If you will give us your blessing and stay here to ensure that no one comes from behind, and then we can leave together when we are successful, I will accept this.
And if they do come from behind, you can just use your tail to swat them out that door, and they'll land on their butts.
Stop the timer.
The whole dragon just kind of sits back and.
I'm gonna cozy up to him.
Wow. That sounds like a good plan. He stands up, stretches. It's been a while. And he blows this enormous puff of almost looking like gold dust out of his mouth just upon each of you, giving you a blessing with his magical essence. Each of you receive Constitution of the Dragon. You are blessed in that you have a +1 to your AC, all of you. And I need each of you to roll a d20. Just one d20, just as it is.
Yes.
Okay.
Crit! Woo!
So,
Crit plus
Matthew,
yeah.
you critted. So, as well as having that boon of the +1 to your AC, you also have an additional benefit that only you are able to detect. You feel the magical essence of what is known as a periaptive wound closure. While you wear this pendant, you stabilize. Well, it's not a pendant, but while you have this blessing, which is for the rest of the day, you stabilize whenever you are dying at the start of your turn. In addition, whenever you roll hit die to regain hit points, double the number of hit points it restores. Okay?
Neat.
All right. After the blessing is bestowed upon you all, the dragon sits back, gets comfortable, kind of sitting between the three cages, playing with the metal. So, what are you doing here? Just come to kill some giants?
That is our business, sir, not yours. Respectfully.
I'm gonna unwild shape into a druid, or back into my druid form.
It is enough to say we are looking for something which is ours, but which they have taken from us.
What is it you're looking for?
Our business is ours alone. Thank you very much.
Hey man, don't you think he might know where it is?
Yeah, but it's not his business. It's our business. It's always been our business. What I would ask though is where the head honcho might hang out.
She is on the top floor.
And do you know if they have like a vault or something?
I do not know of a vault. I know they have gardens at the top. That is where they captured me. But there are rooms, there are stuff up there. That's where she stays.
What's her name, man?
Her name? Sansuri. She is one of the giant lords. I would not tangle with her if I were you.
These giants seem pretty progressive, man.
What's that supposed to mean?
They have a lady ruler. That's cool.
Why is that so amazing?
I'm just saying, man, that lots of times that they're all backwards. These
I know what you mean to
these
say.
folks.
You mean to say that women make fine leaders. I understand.
They can, man. That's what I'm saying.
Well, if you guys want to tell them about what we're after, I guess I'm okay with that. But you guys got to take responsibility.
Hey, Dragon, what's your name?
My name is Velgolos. Velgolos.
Felgulus. Hey, man, does the queen, does she wear, like, any armor or jewelry or anything that would be noteworthy? Maybe something on her head. I don't know. Just out of a random location to wear thing.
She has a proclivity towards masks.
But nothing on her head.
The only times I've seen her is when she's come in to torture me personally.
And those times she wasn't wearing anything on her head?
Nope. But a different mask every time. Weird.
Cool, man.
Very well. I will rest here until you return.
Hey, do you eat like griffins? Is that? I mean, I don't know what your diet is. I mean, but could you like just if you do happen to eat, if you have a hankering for griffin, can you just eat one? Because we might need the other 4.
I can keep down to 1.
Thanks, man.
Mind which, this one looks particularly juicy.
Actually,
It's all yours. Oh,
I think 2 of us could fit on one of those, right? I mean, it looks like there's space. So we'd only need 2.
yeah, but we might be able to sell these, man.
How are we gonna capture them after we unchain them? I mean, it's pretty much like we're just gonna have to wait till they land at that point.
Cross that bridge when we get there. I'm not the planner, man. It just we need flying things to get down, right? I mean, I could bring owls if we need them, but if we got these ones,
That's true. That's true. You can call the aminals. All right. Okay.
Okay. So you all leave the dragon and head away from him up towards the northern side. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to do? As you head up this corridor, you do see a door to your right, another large wooden door, but then you see another door similar to it further up before the corridor turns to the left.
I wondered how long until you would come to me. I have not seen anything beyond above this room, only that below, so I do not have better information that we might be able to use.
I'm kind of curious though. How the heck did you get up here, alone?
Oh, it is very simple. I walked up the wall. And then as I was coming inside, I was seen, and there were many of them, and I decided it would be better to rest in their company for a few days and wait for you to come than to fight. So I simply sat down, and they've given me food and not very good conversation, unfortunately. The ogres are dense as bricks. But my plan went according to plan, and that you are here now. So, haha.
It definitely worked. So, what are you guys doing? Are you investigating the doors along the way, or are you moving on?
I'm gonna see if I can hear anything from the doors as we move past them.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and roll a perception check as you make your way past the door. You don't hear anything on the other side.
It's like a ringing in my ears. I don't.
Maybe it's still the
So-
noise of the griffins going crazy now that there's a dragon about to eat them.
And I don't think we need to open every door. We could probably just move on, unless we want to just exhaust this place and open every single door.
Well, they were keeping the animals and prisoners over in this area. Wouldn't they keep like their stores and their extra stuff in the same area?
Well, if the head honcho's up top, I got a gut feeling that that's where we need to be going too, towards the top. That's probably where they keep their most valuable stuff, most well protected stuff.
We should not delay. If we know that she is above, we should carry on.
Yeah, but what if the crown is just behind this door, man? We could just be walking up and having to fight all these things, and here, right behind the door, was the thing we were supposed to get.
Do you believe that the crown is behind this door? A key in here in this lower level, with next to the dragons and the griffins and the messy ogres?
The dragons are heckin' valuable, man.
Well, I'm gonna listen because I know that perception check wasn't the best. See if I can get anything.
So you listen in a little bit closer. Again, nothing from the sounds of things. There isn't anything on the other side. You take a cursory look through a gap in a wall. You see what looks like a bedroom of sorts. The gap between the door and its frame looks like there's a bed, but the bed is empty.
Well, I'm gonna just go ahead and push the door open. We don't want to run the risk of somebody sneaking up on us from behind.
As you push this heavy door open, this one slides a little bit easier. You do see either side of the room huge big beds, both unoccupied. There is a further door off to the east that the ground around it looks a little wet. And the room is very basically decked out. There's a huge chest right next to the door that is closed and big and heavy. You could easily fit in all of you inside the size of this chest.
That's good to know.
I'm going to keep an eye out, and I'm going to hide around the corner while I do this.
Okay.
Maeva, do you mind opening that chest while I take a look out?
Okay. I will do this.
Okay. So you crack open the chest. It creaks open. Just looks like it's full of cloth. Just huge cloth. You pour through it. There's a couple loose bits of jewelry, little gems and things that you'll find. All in all, inside this chest, you could probably find about 200 gold worth of gemstones in amongst this store.
Perfect.
If we stand
Congratulations, we found a bedroom. Can we carry on?
if we stand on each other's shoulders, can we wear the clothes, pretend we're a giant?
The three babies in a trench coat kind of thing.
If the druid wild shapes into a large creature with a big head, maybe.
Just a bear in some clothes.
All right.
My name is Vincent Giant Man.
So, having searched through this room and Mong next to the other door, you open it up and you see that it's more or less a washroom.
Okay.
It's filled with buckets of water, cleaning area. Fairly simple room. You all step back into the corridor, certain there's nothing behind you. As you make your way up the corridor, Herif, make a perception. Well, what's your passive perception, Herif? 12. Okay. And Mavis is 10. So make perception checks, both of you.
I will say I'm trying to be sneaky as I walk ahead.
Okay, Maver, you notice that as you go, as the light hits the door to your right, just ever so slightly, you notice that carved into it is the word library in common
I'm
rather
gonna
than giant.
jab the next person over, which happens to be Mong, and say, dude, we can get a map in there.
Are you sure it's just the library?
Well, if there was going to be a map or a blueprint of the place, then that's where it would be. We could cut to the chase real fast if we find
right.
that.
As you wish. I'll follow your lead. And I'll give you backup if you need it.
Enormous wooden door with iron filigree and bolts and everything does appear to be locked.
Okay. Can
Go
I
ahead and roll a thieves' tools check.
Does it have a keyhole that I can look through first? Or anything of the sort?
Because of the size of the door, it has a keyhole that a small creature could probably squeeze through. It's a big thing. So
Okay.
you look in, but you got to climb up, like reach up a little bit to be able to.
I'll start climbing on Mong a little bit.
Through this.
Just trying to.
Inside, you can see a long table. There is no creatures inside the room that you can see, but you see this enormous long table with papers and books just covering it. There's plant life all around the room. It looks quite decorative, quite nice, but it is quite clearly a library.
All right, let's go ahead and try to open it.
Okay. And with a heavy click, you manage to unlock this giant door, and it swings open, revealing the library.
Okay, and I'm gonna be aware while I'm walking around. Make sure I don't see any weird wizard hoodoo.
You don't see any weird wizard hoodoo in this room at all.
Okay, guys, try to spread out, try to find any information on what we're looking for, or any kind of blueprints.
Go ahead and make investigation checks, everyone. That's a nope. With a 2 and a 9. If you're working together, that's 1 success, that's 2 successes. Okay, so combined, half of you succeeded. You were looking through, you saw a bunch of the books in here and the papers don't really look that interesting at all. However, one book in particular, scrawled in common, it's a huge heavy tome, does say clearly over the top of the where the title would be on this book, the 5 dragon masks.
5 dragon masks? I thought we were after one of 5 crowns. Or is this just a strange coincidence in the number 5?
Wow. Should we read it? Can we flip through the book?
Mm-hmm. So a big, heavy book, you flip through it, and it looks to be more like an instructional book teaching you about the ancient lore about these particular masks, how they each individually gave the bearer power over dragons. But combined, they became much more powerful. The book then goes on to speculate. It's typed out, kind of typed out. It's very neat handwriting for the majority of it. And then you start noticing some notes written on the side in a very feminine handwriting that seem to note off Waterdeep. Neverwinter. Got that one. Unknown. And then the last one is Maelstrom.
So this This giant lady collects masks.
It seems
The dragon said that she has a variety of masks and hats.
You roboted a lot in that, and I didn't quite hear what you said, Matthew.
The dragon said that she likes to keep a variety of hats and masks.
Do you think these are just mundane masks that they just wrote a book about? Or do you think these are like special masks?
Well, special.
They're probably special. They give dominion over dragons. Best guess is there's some kind of magic to it. I'm going to tear out the pages that we were looking at to hold on to for later in case we need them.
All right. Cool. Then as you tear that out, put that in your bag, having some knowledge and clues, maybe this would lead towards your thing, you then begin the rest of your search throughout the building for the crown that you're looking for. We're going to end the session there, guys. I hope you all had fun. Hope you all enjoyed it. We will pick up next week, same time as these four continue to search through this giant stronghold to find the crown that they're looking for. If you, well, as a way, I should say, if you're interested, the music for battles tonight came from Sirenscape. You can look at their content at www.sirenscape.com. It's wonderful music. I love using it. I would definitely recommend it. You can contact us via Twitter if you wish. We are at Crituitous RP, or me personally on Twitter, I am at Teo the DM. Thank you all, and have a good night.